Yeah, so my name is Te Arahi. I think I'll start off with my background. I left school at 17 and became a commercial fisherman, and I did that for 25 odd years. So certainly learned to have a close relationship with the sea, or what I call tangaro, God of the sea, because for me the sea is actually a living entity. I choose to believe in it as such and to treat it as such. And so when you're in a working relationship with something that is living, it changes how you view it. And I guess what I mean by that is, I've seen a lot of things over the years on the water. I've seen people die, seen people drown, and to come to that understanding that when that sort of thing happens is it's about living in what I call synergy with the natural elements, and the sea as being one of those. So I think if there's one message that I really want to share, it's around that, around having a synergistic relationship with the ocean rather than a give and take. What I mean by taking seafood and what is the reciprocation of that engagement. So I sort of feel that those are really the really important components when it comes to the sea. And so if I give one example, I guess, in terms of respect for the ocean, people say, righto, when you go to water, go onto the sea, well, most people don't anyway, but in Māori we have this term karakia, so you do a prayer before you go on the ocean. But for me, again, that's not about saying a prayer that say, okay, tangaro, God of the sea, give me protection, and then go out there and behave like an idiot. Because again, like I said, we're living in synergy with the ocean. So part of that means is you don't say, oh, I'm all good now because I've said a prayer, the sea will look after me and away I go. Those are those basics one-on-ones of looking at the weather forecast, being sensible about what you do, keep yourself safe at all times. I think if there's number one rule for me, certainly when going out on the water, I'm already thinking about being home before I even leave the wharf to go out there. And so, the modern term for that is passage planning. But also I think it's just more around making sure that you're safe and that you enjoy it to its full capability. Yeah, I also think though that on the other flip side of that, I've just spoken about how dangerous the sea can be. It's just how much fun is to be had on the ocean and just what it can give you and ourselves, the souls that it fills ourselves with when we go out there. I know when I go on my little boat here, and as soon as I leave the wharf, 10 yards off the wharf, I'm really grateful that I'm being there. So, and that's what the sea can give you. And there's a lot of those natural environments. So that's kind of how I feel about it, really. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
And really quick, the other element of safer together, and the idea that we are safer when we're cooperating and being closer together, and what that means when you're out on the water.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you're out on the water, that's basically, if I look into my world, because these days I take young people out and introduce them to the ocean, really. I run a program for young offenders, and they have to do community work, and the community work that I do with them is gathering kai Moana to take home to not just their families, but to old people that can't get out there or don't have a boat to get that sort of thing for themselves. And so one-on-one for that one is making sure that you're a member of the Coast Guard, you know the protocols around how to access help. And if you look at that Safer Water Together, that's just having a VHF radio and being able to make a mayday call if necessary. And then your community, of course, is all the boats that are around you with the water, with your radio on, so that they can come to your assistance. So when you say that, in my world, that's probably how it pans out 101. Although in the context of what we're talking about in Tauranga and Moana, setting up a bit of a hub around that, what I like around that space is just more people that are connected to the ocean, or the ocean is their work playground, coming together and being able to support each other in terms of other initiatives as well. So I think there's big opportunity for that, and certainly, and I've had a fair bit to do with the Mount Surf Club in the past and in different avenues, and using them as an example of being able to coordinate with the Coast Guard and the rowing club and all of those sorts of facilities that are around can only enhance Tauranga and Moana, but also not just in terms of activity and engagement, but then also like going back to what I said around safety and those last, the golden rule of everybody getting home well, getting home safe. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to add?
Yeah,
Before
I
we
just
close?
yeah, I just kind of like to say, you know, that going back to what I said, the ocean is such a beautiful force. You know, when I was young and fishing, what I loved about the fishing career was there's just you, the ocean, and the mahi, and from that sort of space, you had a very I really enjoyed my times there. The taxman couldn't get me and those sorts of people, so I just enjoyed my time out on the ocean as a worker, but it also provided for me and my family and a lifestyle. And then going back to what I do now, you know, with these young people, being able to know what it feels like inside themselves to be able to take that kai moana home to their families and other people. So again, it's a gift that Tangaroa has been able to give me. And then also, like yourself, Kurt, and just those avenues where we go out on a play in it, you know, just what it gives our well-being and our soul for that. So if there's one message I'd say, you know, access Tangaroa. We live in Tauranga, Moana. It's got a beautiful environment. It's conducive to that. Just make sure that you keep yourself safe and enjoy it. Yeah.